good afternoon to the president, David Chartrand. He's joining us now. How are you?
Oh, you strayed a long way away.
I did. It's still classic. 20 years is considered classic. It's been 30.
30 years. Yeah.
You've redefined classic country.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly.
eventually.
Yeah, bringing the new generation. What happened to good old George Jones?
I know, or Hank Williams, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Tammy Wynette.
Anyways, let me start off by firstly saying hi to Eileen Stagg out in where was I? Where did I stop at the Matoyang? I stopped there and gassed up and met a couple of lovely ladies there. And to Eileen Stagg, I'd say hi to her. She was at the gas station there.
Okay.
I purposely stopped there to give First Nation business and to support the First Nation gas station. And so I try to make my way, and I'm heading north. I always try to make sure I stop there. So, again, to all the workers there at Pimatoyang, thank you for your great service. They pump the gas for you, and they serve you with a big smile. So,
For sure.
very, very pleased with the services there.
Heading to Thompson tomorrow. I'm going to stop. I said I'm heading to Thompson tomorrow. I'm going to have to stop there, too.
You stop. They have good service there. They smile. They're really friendly. They talk to you, and people in the store, people that work at cashiers, they're very nice people.
Nice.
Okay, moving right along now. I got a hell of a lot of birthdays. I want to get that out of my way.
Okay.
Start off here with, let's see, wait to the top here. Nice condolences. Happy belated 16th birthday to Phyllis's twin girls, Tessa and Cass Chartrand, who are celebrating their birthday last Saturday, I believe, September 20th. Happy 14th birthday going to Lily Chartrand, that's Rita and Elle Spence's daughter. That's my godchild and Gore's godchild. So happy birthday, Lily. I just got her 2 tickets. She's going to Silverstein or something in Burton Cummings. That was her. She wanted that for her birthday. So I don't even know who they are, to be honest with you.
I think it's an Irish rock band.
Okay, well, they've apparently been around for 25 years or something, called Silverstein. But that's what she wanted for her birthday, so I got her 2 tickets to go to that. Happy 57th birthday is going to Will Goodon. And, of course, I'll be there tomorrow morning. I'm leaving. I'm going to the Melee boxing thing this evening, and you're coming, I see. You're on the list now.
I am. Thank you.
You pushed your way in there, I see.
You invited me.
It's supposed to be a good boxing. It's a fundraiser, but these are professional boxers. I'll go down a little bit just to get. I believe that one of the LRI boxers was supposed to be boxing, but I think he got hurt.
Oh no!
I'll find it here. Where's his name here? Gavin Forbes. He's always dressed to the T. He's a very sharp dresser, and apparently he got hurt. So do you hear me still?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I don't know what happened. It just cut me out.
Oh.
And also, but who is boxing is Braden Yorq. He's actually works at N4, Métis N4, and so he's been in training, and he's got over 150 hours of training in the last 3 months. He's getting ready for his boxing debut, so it'll be interesting to watch. I can only stay so long too because I have to head off to Brandon.
Okay.
So I'm trying to stay at least. It starts. I think it's doors open at 5, and there's a dinner. I'm sitting at Jesse's table, and of course that's Jesse is a long-time electrician, plumber business. It's a Métis business, and so I'll be sitting at his Stanley's table. His company's called Stanley. And MMF purchased a table right beside each other, and Ford's purchased a table. And the proceeds all go to the Midship Manor, which is, again, for those listeners out there, we wanted to find some way of helping our Métis citizens when they come in. Their loved ones are in hospitals. They really can't afford these expensive hotels. So we want to find something that's really feasible in context of what can fit in their budget. Right. So the Midship Manor was built. It's really beautiful. Of course, we used it during the evacuation. There was a lot of coming and going in that process, and now we're doing fixing it all up. Repainting it, reorganizing it. There was some damage here and there. But again, we're fixing it all up, and because there was a lot of activity during the evacuation, and so. But that'll be ready shortly, and that's where people will be staying when they come in with their loved ones and waiting sometimes weeks. Just like right now, we have Gloria Janai. I think she's been transferred back. She was in the city just recently, and that's a good example of somebody that would need help. She's a retired school teacher, and she's got a big family. So I think she left now for Winnipeg. She's gone back home. But issues like that where somebody's got to come in a week at a time or more, even a few days, the chief man will be there for them. So good for that, and good kudos to our government for making sure we prioritize, and our health department's involved, our housing department's involved. So kudos to both ministers. So that's tonight. So I'll see you there then, Naomi.
Yep.
Doors open at 5. I think dinner. You got some kind of black tie event, they call it, but I'm not going to wear a tie.
Oh.
I'll wear a dress shirt and everything like that. You got to dress up, apparently.
Okay, well,
so
thank you.
You got to look all dolled up.
Okay.
Okay, so anyways, going back to birthdays, I stopped at Will Goodon's, and I'll see him tomorrow in the regional meeting in the Southwest.
Yeah, happy birthday.
And, yes, it's 57. And happy 73rd birthday is going to Minister Alfred Anderson. He's the Vice President in the Interlake region. His birthday Sunday, September 28th also.
Bucky.
So happy birthday to Bucky. Happy Sweet 16 birthday is going to Griffin Zorn. That's Minister Judy Mayer's grandson. Again, also on Sunday, September 28th. And happy 34th birthday is going to Marissa Sinclair. That's Minister Francis Chartrand's daughter and my goddaughter, celebrating her birthday on Monday, September 29th. Happy 8th birthday going to Kendall, who's celebrating his birthday on Monday, September 29th. That's Kendall's son and my sister's grandson. Happy birthday going to Tristan Lambarand, who is celebrating his birthday on Monday, November 29th. Happy birthday going to Sheila Jackson, Métis Employment Training Department. She's been with us forever. Doesn't want to show her age, but her birthday, September 30th. Happy birthday going to Adrian Carrier. Again, she doesn't want to show her age. So Winnipeg region, she's celebrating her birthday Wednesday, October 1st. So now I'm going to
Did
some
you
work.
say Dave Lavallee as well? He's turned 72 a couple days ago.
How much?
72.
How much? Oh, he's in good shape, that Dave. He still looks young. Still very young, that Dave. His wife keeps him in shape. That's why he's lucky.
She does.
Yeah. So happy. Also, that's it for my happies.
Okay.
Now I'll go to work. This week, of course, I was in Ottawa. I had to fly out to Ottawa. I was meeting with Minister Rebecca Alty. Treaty was committed to us. It'll be introduced in Parliament this fall. I'm looking forward to that vote. I got the support of the Bloc Québécois, the NDP, the Liberals, and I'm sure we'll get support from the Conservatives. So we'll see what happens. And hopefully it's a whole party's support, and it'll be very proud for us. We waited 155 years for that. It's a long time in coming, and that's what people forget, the history. We don't, of course. That's part of the Indigenous collectivity that we take positions reminding people of our history and what has happened to our people and why we're in the state we are today, whether it's economically, emotionally, and the struggles that are still existing out there is because history did something many moons ago that we're paying a price for yet today. So that treaty will come in. Ours, of course, was negotiated. We brought Manitoba into Confederation through the Manitoba Act, and in there was a promise of the treaty for the half-breeds and the Métis, it was. And, of course, that did not happen. John A. Macdonald sent an army to fight us, not to negotiate. So now, 155 years later, we're finally getting it in. And let's not forget, too, one of the demands that Riel brought during his negotiations with Canada to bring Manitoba in Confederation, that the treaties had to be negotiated with the First Nations. At that time, they used the word Indian. And it's in the actual written context of the bullets in my office, in the bullet form in the article on the wall, where Riel is pushing hard that the treaties need to be established for First Nations, and Treaty 1 comes in 1871. So, again, the Métis played a pivotal role in working in partnership with the First Nations, and somewhere throughout 150 years, that's separated its ways now. We find ourselves in controversies at times with First Nations not wanting to respect Métis rights. That's only some of them. Of course, lots do. But some of them don't. They don't want to respect. They don't believe we have equal rights, so we should have less rights, et cetera, et cetera. And it's starting to fall into a situation we're going to find ourselves in a very controversial position soon. What I see is I start seeing signs coming up now on reserves that are saying, and some are being respectful. They're saying non-Indigenous harvesters are not allowed in our treaty territory to harvest. So they're making it clear they're not saying us, but some are wide open, saying nobody's allowed to hunt in our treaty territory except us. So that's going to be a controversy for us because that's our shared resource, our shared land. Our Section 35 rights are protected just like theirs. So instead of working with us, they're going to work against us and then force us into a situation where we have to fight each other. And it's like the Sioux have done, the Kudas, They filed 13 claims now in court. The last several claims they made in court is they're asking for money from Canada and the government to fund them to fight us. And what they're saying is that they have exclusive right to all of the South. Now, that's an interesting, and I talk about that on the show because that, again, shows you a clash is coming between our rights and theirs. But not only are they stopping with our rights, saying Métis rights need their permission. It'll never happen. Our rights are no lesser than theirs. But they're also saying that the Cree, the Plains Cree, and the Ojibwe, the Saulteaux, also need their permission. So that's going to be an interesting position. Eventually, it's got to come out for First Nations are going to say, I don't think so. I think we were here before you. And so I think that fight will happen also down the road. But I know we're putting our position very strong legally, and we'll challenge the Dakotas. Now we'll have to end up fighting with some of the First Nations who are going to say that we can't hunt in traditional territories of the First Nation. So that's a shared territory in my view, and that's something that we'll have to come to terms. And at the end of the day, how do they stop, say, Treaty 5, and then Treaty 1 wants to come out and hunt in Treaty 5? Do they need permission? Like, it's good. You know, there's so much work that should be done, so much dialogue, discussions, negotiations. We're trying to do that with SCO. I want to commend Jerry Daniels again for his vision as a young leader. He's in his 40s, and he wanted to create a partnership between the Métis and the Treaty 1 territory, that SCO that they really manage. So we signed this agreement at the Forks, SCO and MMF, talking about how do we work together on Bill C-5, which is these big initiatives coming, and multi-billion-dollar initiatives coming from somewhere in most of them will probably come from Western Canada, especially its oil and minerals and things of that nature, natural resources. I think a lot of that discussion will happen because the Port of Churchill, if everything works out well, they're going to invest billions in there, and which will mean that they will then, if they do that, then they might start to move the pipelines, oil lines, through the north of northern Alberta, northern Saskatchewan, northern Manitoba, and push it into the new Port of Churchill, which then will create tons of jobs and opportunities for ourselves. And that's what Jerry wanted to work with us on, SCO. So let's work together. MMF's very skilled, and as you see our brand everywhere, we're very business and economically driven. And he said we'd like to sit down on how we can help each other, support each other, work with each other, and how do we talk about natural resources? How do we coexist? Let's have a dialogue to talk about it. So instead of a dialogue happening, apparently this weekend, the chiefs of SCO, by majority, voted against having a partnership with the Métis. So again, maybe they're not ready for that, but trust me, I make it very clear, I will protect my people, and I will protect their rights. I will do everything in my power to use every resource I have to protect those rights. So I think they're focusing to fight the wrong people. They're fighting their cousins now. Yeah. And so that's the wrong approach, my friends, because you should be focusing on protecting your natural resources in partnership with your cousins, not against your cousins. Because I assure you, every ounce of my statement today, I will protect my people right to the end. And I got the resources and I've got the money to back my people up. We'll go to any court you want. We'll fight politically if you want. And we will not be pushed off our rights, I'll tell you that. So that's not what I want. I'd rather say, how do we coexist? How do we put conservation as a fundamental practice? How do we plan the future? How do we work together? How do we support that? Like we got a letter from Chief Derek Nepanak. But an interesting letter, too, because he wrote a letter, but he didn't write to me. He knows who I am. He's my cousin, for crying out loud. It's my grandma's grandson. And so, but he wrote to my staff. And I was really, I know it's an insult. I know it's an intended insult. I would write to him. I would never write to his staff. As a president, I'd write to him. He's the chief. He's the leader. But he wrote to my staff just to insult me, I guess. But that's okay. I'm okay. I have big shoulders, and I have better class than that. But my point is, he's saying we should plan not to hunt in the ducks and the porcupines. Well, it's kind of late to come in the game now when the season is in full swing. So, you should have been talking about this in the spring. We should have been talking what SCU wanted to do. SCU Southern Chiefs wanted to sit down and go to a table so we're talking to each other. but you voted against that. So how can you say let's talk, but you don't want to talk when SCO was there? So it doesn't make sense to me. So again, there's different discrepancies that are coming out. I met Blue Sky at the airport the other day. Yesterday when I got back from Ottawa, and he was, we shook hands. We talked very professionally to each other, and he said, it was nice to see you, brother. And I said, nice to see you too, brother. So, but Blue Sky, I believe his band, Broken Head, probably voted against it. I'm guessing now, because I don't know exactly who voted, but I do understand there was an issue from Broken Head against the agreement we signed with Southern Chiefs Organization. So, again, it's the wrong approach. I believe in the elders, the First Nation elders I meet everywhere. I meet a lot of First Nation people. They always treat me with great respect because I treat them with great respect. But their chiefs, their leaders, for whatever reason, don't want to respect the Métis rights. So it's something that's going to clash, and it shouldn't be. But trust me, we will not back away, and that's unfortunate. And that we're not bringing this on. Trust me, I'm not bringing this fight on. I'm trying to negotiate. I'm trying to create a partnership. But for some reason, some of the chiefs want to fight with us and demand that we don't have rights. And so they're saying you don't have Section 35 rights. We don't recognize them. So the court is the court. The law is the law. The land of the laws are in place. Practice has shown we stood supporting First Nations in the 1870s when we were the big dominant force. We were the majority. And at one time, the Métis in Manitoba, we were the strong military force in Manitoba at one time. And who did we protect? Our cousins. We stood by our cousins. We walked with our cousins. We fought for our cousins. And now today, they don't want to recognize us as cousins. So again, they'll have to deal with some of their band members who are still very nice to us, and still relations are important to us. And when we go to weddings and funerals, we see each other there, and we're always friendly to each other. But for some reason, some of these chiefs do not want to be friendly to the Métis. But that's okay. We're big guys, and we have big shoulders, and we have strong women. So we'll see each other in the courtrooms or politically debating somewhere. On a side note, Manitoba Federation also issued a demand for the province, and that's, of course, a large group, a very strong political group, made up of non-Indigenous people, majority. There's some Métis in there. I believe there's some First Nation there, too. But the majority is all non-Indigenous harvesters. They're saying the ducks and the porcupine should be closed now. And our Minister, Peter Fleming, already conversed out in the media, like, why are you coming now? Why don't you talk to us in the spring? Like, the hunting is already happening. So it doesn't make sense for you to come. You're just trying to start a diversity. What Manitoba Federation is actually trying to start is a political war. They're trying to rile up their harvesters and to fight against the First Nation, to fight against the Métis harvesters. That's what they're trying to do. They're not trying to look at how we work together. They're trying to figure out how the hell they create some controversy and political challenge for the sitting government, put WAB in a difficult position. At the same time, figuring out how do we end up fighting with each other. So, and they're winning. They're smarter in many ways, I guess, because people are falling for that trap and letting them get us to divide each other instead of standing with each other. So, again, we will not. Our harvesting this year will continue, and we have a limitation of only how much can hunt in the ducks and the porcupines, and we also have a limit to how much can hunt in the lands that we've been buying. You have to make an application. You got to follow the Métis laws of the harvest. You got to have your harvester card. You have to have your sticker on your card that you have purchased your sticker to harvest this year. And of course, all that money goes to helping wildlife, helping nature at the same time. But at the same time, it goes to our legal defense in case we have to end up fighting with IHE, Wildlife Federation, provincial government, or our neighbors now, the First Nation. So again, I'll get off that topic, and I want to talk about the second meeting I had in Ottawa. I met with Stefan Fior. He's the Minister of Procurement and Defense, a very powerful position now. Before, it was not as high priority, but it is a high priority today. Of course, national defense is something we need to all look at. I think we need to talk about it in our families, what's happening in the world. We shouldn't be afraid to talk about it, or we should not close our eyes that it does not exist. The world's in a dangerous place right now, and it's there's a lot of discussion where the Minister of War, Defensive War, and I call it, in the United States, is calling all the generals in from everywhere to have a meeting. So what's he talking about? I don't know. Some are projecting he's talking potential war. Is he talking potential savings? Like, why is he bringing? It's never been done. Why is he bringing all the generals in from everywhere? So that's going to be interesting. And of course, Russia's not backing away; they're still moving ahead. They're not going to create peace with Ukraine. And now Trump's words are getting a little bit more bolder and stronger. And if Russia fights back and China steps in to help Russia, then we got a hell of a problem in the world. So that's why I said we cannot take this lightly. And so we had a good meeting with Stefan Fier, and we talked about procurement. We know that national defense is going to be investing billions of dollars. They're going to go up to a 3% GDP investment in defense, and which is going to really mean a ton of money, billions and billions of dollars being invested in new opportunities. So if you look at the north, they will be coming to the north, whether it's Manitoba or they're going to skip us and go right to Nunavut. That's going to be important to understand. But even if they're there, it's still Canada. And we need to figure out, how do we get jobs? How do we get opportunities? How do we get our companies and businesses to have an opportunity through the procurement process? As you hear me talk about it, lots on the show. Procurement is a very important component, and we need to get our share of 5% in there or more. Mm-hmm. So again, that's what's happening there. And I'm looking forward to pushing that. I had a very, very good meeting with him, and I'm looking forward to getting that process in place, and then figuring out how we move forward. On another note, we just won one of our court cases to fight the matter where there's a lot of news on it at the time it happened, and we had our sign taken down at the Ottawa airport, and all they said is the red for national government, both in French and English. Mm-hmm. And some First Nation criticized it and saying we have no business, advertising our government in their territory in Ottawa. So the airport authority, instead of it was a contractual, you could see the provincial Saskatchewan's talking about themselves there. You could see in other provinces are talking about come visit Saskatchewan or proud of our beautiful province, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. We did that, and some First Nation complained. So the airport authority took it down. So we filed in court, and we just won the court case on the sense of our right to fight this thing now. They paid us back $20,000 in legal fees, and now we can hold the airport authority. In my view, there's pure racism and discrimination against the Indigenous people, my people in the West. So we're going to hold them accountable. How can a province advertise themselves, and we as the Métis government can't promote ourselves? It doesn't make sense. So again, we'll see what happens. It's called a judicial review, mm-hmm. and we'll be going to court on that in the next little while. But we won the first round, and I'm very happy about that. So I also attended a couple of weddings. I want to remind myself to say thank you for inviting me again, Reno and Jenica, and then Carl. Oh boy, I forgot Carl's and Jessica's the new daughter. I have it somewhere, and I can't find it. Mm-hmm. It's not in my report here, but Hunter got married. Mm-hmm. Man, I apologize to you, ma'am, if you're listening. I don't have it here in my report, but again, I want to say it was a beautiful wedding. I was in Chartrand, and after that, of course, I took off to the funeral. It was a beautiful funeral, by the way, in St. Laurent, Cranberry, Portage. I took off there after that, so I didn't get in till close to 12 o'clock, and my granddaughter was driving with me. All my staff couldn't go. A lot of them had different things. Mm-hmm. And so I ended up asking my granddaughter, she was going to the funeral anyway, to wait for me and travel with me so she can help me drive to Cranberry. So Thank you very much, my baby, for driving me all the way there. Mm-hmm. And so it was good to see. But I was busy that day because I was in Nesbitt for that wedding. I had to drive back from Brandon and come back to Southeast regional meeting. From Southeast, I did the Métis hour, and after Métis hour, I went to St. Laurent. I went to the wedding there. And then, by the way, I had a beautiful dinner there. Not at the wedding. I left the wedding, but I stopped at Famille Cafe. I think I'm saying it wrong. If I'm not pronouncing it right. Faamii. It's in French, Famille Cafe. And Christine Allard and James Leclerc run it, and I think it's Jules Chartrand's daughter. I tell you, if you ever stop in St. Laurent, that's a new stop for me, for sure. For the fish was exquisite. It was unbelievable. They said fresh fish every day, and they prefer. And the French, everything is homemade. They make their own custard. They make their own dips, and the French fries were awesome. And so was a smash burger. My granddaughter had a smash burger, and I had the fish. And I gotta tell you again, Christine, that was superb.
Nice.
And that'll be my. I think they shut down for the season. I think they're gone now. I didn't see their it's a little white trailer. Just as you're leaving Saint Laurent, just when you're coming to Saint Laurent, it's right to the left. When you're passing through Saint Laurent, it's to the right, just as you're leaving Saint Laurent. So next year, if it's there, you got to stop. You'll probably take me for that because that was some of the best damn fish I had, and fries were awesome.
Nice.
Now, don't forget our HA is coming up, Naomi. Don't forget that.
Yep.
Monster Bingo will be waiting for you.
Oh, I'm waiting. Yep.
$50,000 in cash and prizes to be won.
Amazing.
$50,000. So anybody listening want to come to our bingo, it's wide open to everybody, not just Métis citizens. Hope to see you all there. Get your tickets ahead of time, and you could buy them on site also. And but it's going to be a hell of a bingo. And we put a bingo because that's some of the stuff our people still love doing, the older people.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we could probably have different events. But the bingo was a hit, and people really love it. And we don't make much money because the prizes are mostly, and our cards are not too expensive. So, but again, it's to let people have fun and hopefully take home do what they love, but also take up some cash in their pocket. So don't forget that. And again, it's happening. You can get your pre-sale tickets until October 15th at 150 Henry. So pop in there, get your bingo cards, and buy them ahead of time in case they're sold out. But $50,000, that's Friday, October 17th at the Assiniboine Downs. Anybody listening, make sure you come down. Don't forget, Tuesday, September 30th, Orange Shirt Day. National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. I got to make sure I get my orange shirt for that. So again, I did an interview with the Globe and Mail on this issue, and I got a couple minutes here. And one of the things the survey showed that 22% of Canadians say the country is net enough already for reconciliation. So, but if you look at the statistics, they stay 22% from the beginning to now. So really, what it shows you is that there's 22%, no matter what you do, are going to believe that Indigenous people got more than they deserve. What those people will not worry or think about the history of what caused the situation where First Nation, especially First Nations, for residential school, what they went through. Now, what's important is Canada did some corrections. They put a settlement of $2.3 billion, I believe, and a lot of people did get their restitution. But again, there's still more healing. It's going to take generations to fix the problem. You created a problem here that went generational. So it's going to take a few more generations to get the place in order. But what it does tell us is this. At the same time, we too have responsibility as leaders. Yeah. We've got to figure out how do we create economic opportunities, education opportunities, better living conditions for our people. We've got to figure our way through that ourselves. And we've got to help out our citizens. And that's the message I gave. We're not saying reconciliation is only a one-way street. It's a two-way street. Yeah. We too, as Indigenous leaders, have responsibility. We've got to do what we can, just like I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to create an economic strength for our government. That's why I'm buying all these capital buildings, because I'm getting older. So a new leader will be coming. Hopefully not till he lets me win another election, but I'm going to run one more time. And that's probably after that I'll leave. Really want to make sure I
somebody out there doesn't want you to leave because your voice is all garbled now and I can't hear you.
Well, I'm going to say goodbye. I'll talk about this next Saturday. And again, I'll say goodbye to everybody, and I will be running. I'll say that. It's a good long list, that is. So other than that, I'm trying to set up the future for this. And I want to give my condolences and treat the next gospel if you have it, for Alma Thomas Chartrand.
Alma Thomas Chartrand?
Yeah. Okay. Alma, A-L-M-A, Thomas Chartrand.
Okay.
Phyllis's family to lost her mother, and she left for a new home on September 26th. So again, to you, Phyllis, and your family, my condolences with you all. Take care, everybody.
All right. You take care,
okay.
David.